SHAQ FU Honest Game trailers. Alright. SHAQ FU, I remember this.
The following trailer is rated H for honest.
From the era of dial-up, Jinko Jeans, and Cisco
Jinko
comes one of the
Jeans.
greatest atrocities ever committed.
Wait, they said in Cisco?
Jinko Jeans and Cisco
Not Mr. Thong Song himself.
comes one of the greatest atrocities ever committed in the history of fighting games. SHAQ FU. Experience the fever dream.
Hey, I don't care what nobody say, bro. SHAQ will try anything, bro. And it takes a lot to try any and everything because you never know what's going to blow up and what's not. So I would rather do what SHAQ does than not do stuff at all.
That was the 90s all over again, when professional large man Shaquille O'Neal was a mainstream celebrity, featured in numerous commercials, rap singles, and feature-length
You said I bad.
despite the fact that his only discernible skill is being tall, and discover his inevitable slam dunk into the world of video games, where instead of making, oh I don't know, a sports game about basketball, they decided to put out an interdimensional kung fu fighting game.
Because, man, he putting out stuff that he want and stuff that he like, you feel me? Like, I don't know about y'all, but I grew up watching kung fu and like karate movies and shit. So that's why I fell in love with watching anime, because it reminded me of like, you know, like Bruce Lee and shit like that. Like Rock Lee is definitely another version of Bruce Lee. Yeah, exactly. Jackie Chan, Jet Li. It's a lot of like kung fu action movies that I grew up on and people that I grew up on. So I can see why SHAQ made a fighting kung fu game.
That was secretly just an ad for Pepsi? In one of the most insane cocaine-fueled ideas to ever actually become a final product. And surprise, it sucks an entire ass. Who would have thought? Cast off the shackles of your expectations and dribble your way into the absurd story mode of SHAQ FU as the Jolly
SHAQ
Giant
FU.
accepts a quest from the world.
He said, what on earth? This look like a motherfucking Game Boy Color game. You know what I'm saying?
World's most stereotypical.
What did this come on? Was this on like PlayStation or some shit? Nintendo 64 or something? Sega? What was this on? This look like a handheld game.
Old Asian man to save a little boy in another dimension with a unique style of kung fu basketball. Then watches SHAQ makes his way through the undiscovered realm,
You thinking Nintendo? I can see that.
uncritically beating the shit out of everyone he encounters,
I wish they had like buttons on the screen and stuff like they do now.
including a living booger, a football mummy, the Prince of Persia, and some guy from Brooklyn, until he saves the boy and makes it back just in time for the charity basketball
No fucking way. No way.
game. In a half-assed plotline that makes about as much sense as buying a game called SHAQ FU. Seriously, you have no one to blame but yourself.
Or Super Nintendo?
Flail helplessly around the gameplay of SHAQ FU, a game that despite its outlandish premise became famous for something.
You said you about to send me a lot of songs on. No, don't go crazy. Don't go crazy. We spending like, cause around like an hour or two we getting into some gaming, bro. In like an hour or two we getting into some gaming. Don't go crazy.
Completely different. Being
Or you can, and I can save some of it for tomorrow when I stream. So yeah, you can go crazy. I'll do some today and I'll do some tomorrow.
fucking terrible.
JME won a hide and seek. The guy that was hiding inside of the equipment room.
As you spin jump across the entire stage, desperately trying to hit your opponent. Spend more time fighting the sluggish controls, ridiculous invincibility frames, and wonky hitboxes than your actual enemy. And get your ass kicked while you struggle to get out a single special move. Then realize that you've been doing it all wrong by trying to play it like a normal fighting game. And the best strategy is to just cheese out everyone with kicks. In a gameplay experience that's about as fun as slamming your balls in a car door.
Slamming your balls?
So put on your size 24s and prepare to dunk on some kung fools in a video
On some kung fools.
game that takes the worst parts of Space Jam and Street Fighter and makes a cocktail so foul that even the people making the sequel admit was absolute garbage.
It's
That's a pretty bold mark.
they made a sequel to it?
marketing strategy. Starring Shaqui Chan,
Shaqui Chan.
Japanese Cat Grill, Disney's Aladdin, Horny on Mame, Setsuna's Sacrifice, Disney's Aladdin, Horny on Mame, Setsuna's Sacrifice,
Yo.
Techno Rave
What the basketball comeback? Exactly.
Jacks, Geriatric Flubber, Kirkland Brand
What the
Carnage, Terrible Mr. Miyagi,
Terrible Mr. Miyagi.
Mumra Reboot, Rat Boy, and Hispanic Axel Stone.
What?
Shaq Shut Up and Martial Arts Gaiden. Did you know that there's a website dedicated to removing copies of SHAQ FU from circulation? I love it when people come together.
There we go. This Super Nintendo, right? This is Super Nintendo.
That there's a website dedicated to removing copies of SHAQ
But what is this though? Is this Super Nintendo?
FU from circulation? I love it.
This is definitely. Or is this Nintendo 64? This 64, right? I can't really tell. I've never seen the inside of a cartridge before.
When people
The first one was a Sega? Yeah, the black cartridge.
come together to make the world a better place. Comment below on what you want me to read in my epic.
Oh, that is Super Nintendo? Okay, I was right. Because you know, a lot of the Nintendo 64 cartridges was gray too. But I've never seen the inside of no cartridge. Hey, that shit was funny, bro.